Good morning, guys. Today is November 11th, 2021, and we're going to be doing an account update. This is Greg with Ideal Trading Ideas, and as you can see, we have our account up on the screen. This is our RH account, right? Robinhood. Currently, total portfolio value is $8,510.68. Stocks and options, we have about 86% of the money in stocks and options, or $7,349.55. Brokerage cash, 13% of the account, $1,161.13. So as we scroll down, we're going to show you the different stocks that we're in and what we've been doing to continue bringing in that cash, right? And what our overall goal is right now, right? So as you can see, we have quite a few stocks. I want to say we have 10 right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? So we own 10 stocks, so we've been averaging ourselves down in terms of how many stocks that we have. So my goal personally is to get myself down to about half of this, right? So about 5 stocks, and then I want all the money that we have pushed in between those 5 stocks. So I'm not going to say exactly what 5 stocks I'm looking at because some of them are already on the screen, but the things that I am looking for is to get in at a low price. So as you can see, PBF Energy, we got in at 564. Current price is 1501, so we're looking for growth. Second thing, we're looking for stocks that are paying dividends. So when we look at something like a Goldman Sachs MLP, we know that we're getting paid dividends on it, right, on a quarterly basis. And then we have other stocks that pay monthly dividends, so on and so forth. And then lastly, we're looking for stocks that we're able to do option trading on. So we're looking for growth, we're looking for dividends, and we're looking for option trades. So those are the three things that we're looking for. And then that's the reason why we're going to average ourselves down, which means that we're going to sell off some of these different companies or possibly all of them and kind of wait around, and get into some other stocks and so that we meet all 3 of those criteria. So that is my future goal for my Robinhood account, and so that we can continue to build up, right? So that's just me in general. Everybody has their own trading style, strategies, and if you notice, my strategies have changed over the last 2 years dramatically, right? So we're gonna get right into it. PBF Energy, we purchased 100 shares probably about over a year or so ago. Current price 1501, average cost is 564. Total return is $936.90, right? So the equity right now is 1501. So how much money have we actually made on PBF, right? So without me going into spreadsheets and clicking on everything, I'll tell you that I picked up another $400+ just doing a covered call trade, a long-term covered call trade. And we did like maybe another 2 or 3 covered calls before that. So actually, instead of it being 1501, it's probably somewhere around 2,000, right? It's not going to show you that equity because it doesn't really, Robinhood really doesn't calculate that into your total returns. So just know, hey, we've made more money than what it's saying the actual total return is just from picking up those cover calls. Moving on to Goldman Sachs MLP Energy, right? GER is a ticker symbol, 76 shares. We also know that this is something that was kind of pushed in with another one that I had, another company, I can't even remember the name of, the one that they kind of blended into GER, but we now have 76 shares. We've had it for a while now. Current price 1141. We bought in at 689. So remember, we're buying stuff pretty low in relative to the current price. $343.57 total return. 867.16 is the equity, right? So this stock pays quarterly dividends. So we're being paid more than what that's actually showing. So we have a couple of more dollars that we've made from GER. Moving on to USO. Bought this 5 shares, $55.75 right now. I think the highest it's been is about $59, but we got in at $22.42. Remember when I told you guys about USO way back in 2020? We got before it did its reverse split, and we're able to get maybe 50, 100 shares. I can't remember, but the end result was me only having 5 shares, right? But I did tell you that I believe it would double in money and also triple or quadruple. So right now we're a little bit past double. And I feel like we have a ton of time left. Maybe by next year, we'll probably see it make it up into the $80, $90 mark. That's what I'm hoping for. Its sister stock, UCO, has already reached that $99, $100 mark. And so it's just a matter of time before we see USO hit that same thing. So total return is $166.65. Equity right now is $278.75. Now, USO doesn't pay dividends at all, but you can option trade with it. But because we don't own 100 shares, we can't option trade. We also have Azul Airlines, right? Ticker symbol AZUL. Shares, we only have 20. $14.80 the current price, so it's dropped down way from where it was earlier this year, which was about 27, 28, even probably $29. We're looking for like 35, and we got in at 668. So for some people, $14.80 is definitely a great price to get in for Azul Airlines. And then we have a total return of $162.40, right? Equity is $296, not a big deal. Moving on into Zynga. ZNGA is a ticker symbol. We own 200 shares. This is a recent purchase. And as you can see, current share price is $7.95. So it's up from the price we purchased at, $7.34, right? We're up $122 on Zynga right now, $1,590 in equity. And what we have is we've been doing covered call option trades on Zynga on those 200 shares to bring in a couple of dollars. So even though it says $15.90, just like with PBF, we've been doing those covered calls. So we've actually brought in maybe about $200, maybe even $300 off of Zynga, and that's what we're looking to continue to do, and just adding to that amount of money that we're putting to the side, right? Moving on, Center Coast MLP Infrastructure, right? So CEN is the ticker symbol. 25 shares is what we own. $15.57 is the current price. We bought in at $11.26. This was kind of high for me back in 2020. Could have got in a little lower, but hey, I just kind of missed that ball. But we held on to the shares because we believe that a Center Coast is maybe a $70 play. Are we going to hold on to $70? I'm unsure right now. I'm definitely going to hold on for a double. At least, right, to do it 2x our money, but we're up $107.75. Current value $389.25, and we've been grabbing quarterly dividends from this particular stock, right, or this fund, right? So quarterly dividends are being paid to us. We can't do any option trades on it right now, and that's pretty much it, right? So right now, if you paid attention or you are tapping these symbols CEN and GR, you already know that you can't even trade these on Robinhood anymore. The only thing you can do if you currently own them is just sell them off, right? It's the only thing you can really do. Continue to receive your dividends and sell them off once it hits your target price, right? So moving on to Carnival Cruise Line, we'll just move it on past these. Carnival Cruise Lines, right? CCL, one share, $23.52 right now. It's down from one of its highest points of this year, which was like 27, maybe even 29. And we got into 875. This is probably one of my biggest failures or blunder. I won't call it a failure, but blunder of 2020, which is not getting at least 100 shares of Carnival Cruise Lines at this price or even lower, right? Because as you can see, once they kind of got past what was going on with the coronavirus, which is still going on, by the way, the price continued to go back up, right? So it's easily would have 3x my money had I just purchased the shares, and I didn't, right? So we have $14.77 for our gain, our total return, and then $23.52 or 51 cents for the equity, right? So this is one of those stocks that they're suspended their dividends and that you can do option trades with. So we can't option trade because we don't own 100 shares. And then we move on to Genius Brands, GNUS. I know most people see Genius Brands and they're like, hey man, that stock has been a headache, a headache for me. And the reason why is because Genius Brands is one of those stocks that has been pretty low. And I think it was like in the 30-40 cent range at one point. And it just continued to shoot up, and it shot up to like $10, I want to say. So it made a lot of people some money, and then it just tanked, So looking at what's going on right now, Genius Brands' current price is $1.38. We're in at $1.61 because we've obviously averaged down by buying 100 shares at a time, right? So we're currently down $68.67 with Genius Brand, and we currently, the equity is $414. Now, when I look at this and I say, hey, $68.67, are we actually down $68.67? The answer to that question is obviously no. We're not actually down all the way 68, 67 because we've been doing cover calls the whole time that we've owned Genius Brand. And I want to say that we're actually up $250, maybe more in cover calls. And then when you look at that and you offset it from the 68, we would probably still be around the 180-ish, 90-ish dollar range in profits overall. So we're talking about with cover calls and the fact that we're down just on the 300 shares alone, right, in terms of the price that they're currently going for. So this is one of the reasons why I advocate about dividends and cover calls options, because, hey, we can be making that money on the side. And even though the price goes down to 138 and we bought at 161, the cover calls will actually cover us, make sure that we're not going to be overall negative. Moving on to Limelight Networks, LLNW, we own 201 shares. Hey, Greg, why do we own 201? Well, the reason why we own that one share is because we actually were given that one share, right? So $2.91 is the current price. We bought in at $3.48. Actually, it'll be $3.50 because I want to say the 200 shares were bought at $3.50, but the one share offset it to $1.48. So we're down $109.06. Equity is $590.94, right? So we're down by a little bit when it comes to Limelight Networks. Good thing is over time we've been able to actually do cover call option trades on Limelight Networks, and I want to say that we are right around this range in terms of the money that we made from Limelight. So we're like right at break even when it comes to Limelight Networks, just from the cover calls. Now, are we looking to get rid of Limelight Networks in the future? The answer to that question is yes. I'm looking to go ahead and get rid of it, probably right at the break even of $3.50. It'll give us maybe $4, something like that, $2 to $4. And we're done with Limelight Networks. It's one of the ones that I definitely want to kind of get off of. And actually, I'll go ahead and tell you that I want to get off of Genius Brands as well. So we may decide to go ahead and purchase another 100, 200, 300 shares, maybe, to kind of offset that 138 to 161. Average our price down, go ahead and do some cover calls, or, 1 or 2 cover calls, grab some quick money. But overall, we want to get rid of Genius Brands as well. So moving on to the last one, Lipozene, LPCN, 1,200 shares is what we have. It's down to 117, and we've averaged ourselves down from like 160 something to 135, right? It's down $220.08. As you know, Lipozene goes up and down over time, right? It's pretty much our biggest gainer in terms of the money that it's bringing in right now. It's bringing in anywhere from $100 to $200 plus a month, right? This is a monthly option trade. They're not paying any dividends or anything like that. So we're bringing in quite a bit of money. But the problem I see with Lipozene is when it starts dropping to these prices right here, a lot of times they're going to skip over a month. They're not going to offer you anything for like November, for instance, right? And then I didn't really offer anything for November, so we had to skip over 2 months in order to grab some money, right? So this is what's going on with our Lipozene trade right now. We are up about $460, $480 plus when it comes to Lipozene. And so when we look at being down 220, if we wanted to sell right now, we'll still pocket $200 plus when it comes to Lipozene. So is this something that I want to be rid of? The answer to the question is yes, but only with time, right? So my goal is to continue bringing in money from Lipozene over time, and then when we hit that 150 mark, or even get up to that 135 that we're at, where we know we can break even, we'll go ahead and just sell off our shares and go from there. So our goal really is to get past that 135, and I would prefer to go to 150 so we can pocket some extra monies. But we're going to continue to do our option trades on here, and it is my goal by maybe mid next year to be out of Lipozene. And we're hoping that price continues to go up, right? Not just for us, but for other people as well, right? So going down, you can see that we have instant deposit of 1,000. Most people do, or more. And right now, withdrawable cash is $344.37, right? So it's pretty much showing us, hey man, we got a little bit of money that we can play with. Going to scroll back up, and what we're going to do is click on portfolio, because we want you to see what we have going on. With buying power, $361 for the most part when it comes to buying power. Man, little puppy is barking right now. Then we have options, right? So what do we have going on with the option side of our account? We have a 2 sell call options going on right now, right? We have on Genius Brands, we have 2 going on Zynga. We have 12 for the Lipozine that we talked about. We have another one, which will be 3, equaling 300 shares on Genius Brands again. We have 10 on our AT&T. We have 2 on Limelight Networks. We have 1 continuing on with PBF Energy, and then it gets into our Iron Condor. We're going to be trying to let that go pretty soon. And then we have our 10 buy contracts for AT&T and our UVXY put, right? So I can tell you right now that we're negative when it comes to the UVXY put, and we've lost quite a bit of value from our T buy options, right? Just with time, and you can see that it expires on June 17, 2022. So it is our hope that AT&T goes back up in price way before that. We're not going to let it get all the way to the end. Obviously, we're going to continue to collect what we can via our cover calls, but we're hoping the price of AT&T goes up because it's really down low right now. So we're hoping the price goes up, and at some point we'll go ahead and cash out, and we may end up taking a loss when it comes to this. It's taught me a lesson when it comes to dealing with leaps options, because this is exactly what this is a leap options. We only took it for a year. We probably should have took it for at least 2 years, because it gives us time to really ride out the waves of these different companies, especially AT&T going down in price and then going up in price. So 2 years would have gave us a ton of time to kind of wait that out, right? Wait that out. So this is probably going to be a blunder for us. Definitely have lost quite a bit of money. I'm going to actually show it to you guys what's actually going on. And average cost per share was $1.99, right? So the break even was $28.99. Contracts is 10. Cost $1,990. Today's return is positive 60, right? But the total return is negative $1,210, or negative 60.80%. So we lost quite a bit of money. 60% of this contract has been lost right now because of time decay and just the price of AT&T going down. And what I'll do is we'll click on AT&T. It's $24.96 right now. AT&T is really low, right? You can see that was $24.66. We'll go back 1 year to show you. And even when we started the year off, it was like $28. So it's down like $4, and the high was 32. And we're down in the dumps right now for AT&T. Go back 5 years and you can see that we're down 32% when it comes to AT&T. This is what happened at the beginning of 2020, $38+, and then we dropped down and to 27. And 2021 has been a worse year for AT&T than 2020. So right now we're hoping to see AT&T turn around and get us back up into, I'm hoping, at least a $27 range, $28 range. Maybe that'll be enough for us to break even on the buy option contract. And if it's enough for us to break even, that'll be good enough for me, because we'll make the difference up on the cover calls that the money that we already brought in for the cover calls. So I'll be happy with that, just breaking even. But like I said before, just looking at it right now, you can see, hey, we're down $1,200+, but we are doing cover calls to bring in that money. We haven't gave up on it just yet. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what's going on when it comes to our Robinhood account and how we're making money. AT&T is probably the one of the biggest flukes that we have going on right now. What we'll do is go back to account, and that's the biggest one, right? That's probably the one thing that's stopping the account from being close to that $10,000 range, because it continues to drop down in value, right? So if we had that $1,200 back in terms of just our break even, that would automatically put us about the $9,700 range. So we'll be right back close to that $10,000 range. So that was one of the biggest things that we believe we made a mistake on. But hopefully with time, we'll correct that and go from there. We got some other things that we feel like, hey, if these broke even and we are able to sell them off, we'll obviously be back up in that $10,000 range and pushing forward on into 11, 12. And our target was like 14 for the end of this year. Obviously, it looks like we're not going to make that target. But hey, we have next year to keep pushing, right? So anyway, hopefully you guys learned a little something from this video. Just giving you an update of what's going on in my account and letting you know I want to be transparent when it comes to just showing you where we started and where we are going. And actually what I'm going to do before I close it out real quick, I'll just show you exactly what's going on. You see the daily chart. Moving on to the weekly chart, $217 for the weekly chart. 1 month chart, we're about 79.69, right? You know these charts are not 100% accurate, honestly. 3 month chart, $795. 1 year chart, $1849. We'll go all the way up to kind of show you what's going on, $3,600 at one point. And then all-time chart puts us at about $24.52, right? So it looks like we're pretty much staying stable in that $8,000 range. We're going to see what happens. We want to continue to make money via covered calls and get ourselves back up into that $9,000 range and forward, right? So anyway, you guys have a great day. Enjoy yourselves. And hey, man, please like, subscribe, comment to the channel. We really do appreciate all the love and support. Have a great day. Bye.